Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to break down how the world's most massive, most complex construction projects get measured and managed. We're talking about how you turn a huge, messy undertaking into something predictable and, actually controllable.
When you see a brand new skyscraper just scraping the clouds, or one of those crazy highway interchanges that looks like a concrete pretzel, you have to wonder, how on earth does something that complex stay on track and on budget?
Well, here's the secret. It's not just about the incredible engineering or the giant machinery. The real magic is in a super sophisticated, multi-layered system of measurement that brings order to what would otherwise be total chaos.
All right, so here's our game plan for today. We're going to start by looking at the chaos that comes with building big. Then we'll walk through the 5-phase blueprint that's designed to control it. After that, we'll dig into the cool stuff, the actual tools, like the project's master recipe, a global language for cost, and my personal favorite, the live scoreboard that tells you if you're winning or losing in real time.
So let's start with the big problem, right? Large construction projects they're famously complicated, they are incredibly expensive, and let's be honest, they are super prone to delays.
So here's the thing. You absolutely cannot just wing it on a project like this. You need a system, a real plan of attack to keep everything from spiraling out of control. Because without one, you're not just building, you're basically gambling with millions or even billions of dollars.
So how do you fight back against all that chaos? Well, the answer is in a structured roadmap that pretty much every successful project follows, no matter how big or small it is.
According to industry experts over at Deltek, it all unfolds in 5 clear phases. It kicks off with project planning. That's where you ask, is this even a good idea? Then you move into design, where you turn those ideas into actual drawings. Pre-construction is all the logistical stuff, getting your team, getting your permits, then of course the actual physical construction, and finally you wrap it all up with post-construction, the final inspections, and handover.
Okay, so we have our roadmap, but what about the ingredients? How do you account for every single nail, every wire, every single hour of labor that goes into this thing? Well, this is where our first really critical measurement tool comes into play.
It's called a bill of quantities, or a BOQ for short. The best way to think about it is like the ultimate master recipe for the entire project. It is an exhaustive list of every single ingredient, from the concrete to the light switches, and every single step needed to put it all together.
And this brings up a really key point. You might have heard of a bill of materials, a BOM, from the manufacturing world. That just lists the parts, but a BOQ is so much more than that. It doesn't just cover what you need, it details the labor, the human effort required to install, assemble, and finish everything. It's the whole shebang.
A BOQ is amazing for a single project. But in our global world, what happens when your recipe has to be understood by teams in London, Dubai, and Singapore? They all have different ways of classifying costs. You need a common standard, so everyone's speaking the same financial language.
And that's exactly why we have the International Construction Measurement Standards. It's essentially a universal translator for construction costs.
This quote from the Royal Institution of Chartered Surveyors, or RICS, just nails it. It perfectly explains the why behind ICMS. As projects and investments go global, you absolutely have to have this kind of consistency. It's what lets you compare apples to apples, no matter where in the world you're building.
So how does it work? Well, just picture a universal filing system with 4 levels. Level 1 is the big cabinet. Is this a building or a bridge? Level 2 are the drawers inside, like construction costs. Now, level 3 is where the magic happens. These are mandatory folders like substructure or services that every project has to use. It's standardized. And then level 4 is cool because it lets you add your own custom local notes inside those folders. It's this brilliant structure that allows for high-level global comparison while still leaving room for the nitty-gritty local details.
Okay, quick recap. We've planned the work in 5 phases, we've listed every ingredient in the BOQ, and we've standardized the costs with ICMS. But the second the shovels hit the dirt, a whole new question pops up. Are we on track? Are we winning?
And answering that question is the job of something called Earned Value Management, or EVM. It's this incredibly powerful technique that acts as a real-time live scoreboard for the project. It gives managers a totally objective look at how things are going by mixing scope, schedule, and cost all together.
So how does this scoreboard work? It's actually built on 3 simple but really powerful numbers. First up is planned value, or PV. This is your baseline. It's the budget for the work that you planned to have finished by today.
Just think of it as the line on the chart showing where you should be.
Next, we've got earned value, or EV, and honestly, this is the most important one. It's the value based on your original budget of the work you have actually completed. It's not about what you spent, it's about how much progress you have truly physically made.
And the final piece of the puzzle is actual cost, or AC. This one's the easy one. It's the real money that's gone out the door to get that work done. But the real insight, the real magic comes when you start comparing these three numbers against each other.
When you compare those three numbers, you get two vital readouts. The first is variance. This tells you in cold hard dollars if you're ahead or behind schedule or budget. A negative number is bad news. The second is the index. Think of this like your efficiency score, kind of like a GPA. A score of 1.0 means you're perfect. Anything less and you're falling behind. So one tells you how much you're off, the other tells you how well you're working to get there.
So let's tie this all together, from that big picture vision all the way down to the daily details.
We've seen how this all fits together, right? You start with a structured roadmap, those 5 phases. You get your recipe with a detailed bill of quantities. You make sure everyone speaks the same language with ICMS, and then you keep score every single day with EVM. It's a system that transforms chaos into control.
And that's the whole point. This systematic approach, this obsession with measurement, is what allows teams to handle risks, to control costs, and ultimately to turn these incredibly ambitious visions into physical reality. It's how the impossible gets built, one measured piece at a time.
It really is a powerful system. And it leaves us with one final thought to chew on. As our data gets richer and our measurement tools get even smarter with things like AI, how is this growing ability to quantify and predict everything going to reshape the very world we live in?